Here we are in Umstead Park up in Wake County of North Carolina, about the middle of the state of North Carolina. As you can see here, it's raining. One of the most remarkable things is this rain falling here today will eventually make it down to the Rachel Carson Reserve in Beaufort, North Carolina. The stream I'm standing in runs into Crabtree Creek. We'll eventually go down a little bit downstream to see how this creek changes and moves from this wooded, wetland, very wet environment. This creek right here that I'm standing in is actually a convergence of two creeks. The creek I'm standing in here is a lot cleaner and clearer, and this one back to my right here, there's development occurring there. This part over here is the state park. Less development, less impervious surfaces. We'll talk about impervious surfaces a little bit more later. But this area, the water comes in a lot faster, runs off of disturbed soil, home building sites, some agricultural sites, but mainly it's development for homes and shopping centers and schools up here. This water here is very red in color, and we move to this clear water. It mixes here in the stream. One of the important things I want to talk about is this rain. This water, every drop of this water goes one of two places. It falls on the ground and it soaks in and goes into groundwater, or it falls on the ground and runs off and ends up in a creek like this. And we'll talk about mainly that water that's running off and ending in the creeks like this. Moves down the rivers, works its way to the estuary, well, to the Neuse River and then down to the estuary, which is a very important habitat for all the fish and shellfish that are consumed by humans. A lot of recreation goes down there. People surf in the coast and sail and fish, and a lot of activities with people in the water down there. One important thing is that, as we're seeing here in the state park, is this lack of development has created a buffer around the stream. This buffer has allowed this rainwater to come in, soak into the ground, and move through the soil before it actually comes to the stream. If we can pan over to maybe one of the edges of the bank here, we can see there's no water running off the edges here, as we would seeing at a parking lot going into a storm drain and that dumping straight into the creek. We can also see from this one behind me, this stream bank is degraded. As I was talking, the stream behind me does flow from a developed area, so the water increases a lot more rapidly, and we have these much higher cut banks here. The cameraman here is standing probably about 5 feet above me, and I'm down here. The stream can rise up about 5 feet and has in the past to cut these banks. In a normal stream or a more natural stream, this would be a general sloping area with only some places where it would be high banks, but generally allow the stream to rise up and flow out across the land, which is a more natural process. Here the water moves through much more rapidly, erodes the bank, and creates this situation here. Today, many communities are concerned about their water quality and what they do to protect the water quality within their towns and the ones downstream. Here in Raleigh, this area, Lassiter Mill, which used to be a home of a large lumber mill, now has many houses along the side, but the area that I'm standing in is part of a community park. It's all part of a greenway system that runs through the town that does two functions. It allows an area for people to have recreation, ride bikes, go canoeing, just take walks along the greenway. It also protects the community with water quality. It allows an area for infiltration and for some flooding. Flooding does occur here because of all the impervious surfaces. But areas like this, greenways and open spaces, help protect the water quality and the environment and protect habitats by allowing for an area of flooding and for infiltration of rainwater. Well, it's hard to believe, but here we are at the top of the estuary. We're in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're here along US 70 here in Raleigh, next to Crabtree Mall. And as you can see, this doesn't quite look like the marsh, but all the water that falls here on this road behind us and works its way down to the drains, gets to the estuary. What we do here in the city, a couple hundred miles away from the coast, influences what happens there in the estuary. As you can see, there are many vehicles and trucks coming by. All the things that happen up here at the top of the estuary, such as the rainfall falls on this bridge and road, eventually we get their way down to Crabtree Creek and make their way to the estuary. Rainfall here up in Raleigh also influences things such as salinity and water composition down in the estuary. We'll be looking at those a little bit later, but it's hard to believe that changes and things that happen here up in Raleigh and on these streets, parking lots, running off these cars, out of these cars, affects the estuary and the life and the critters and everything that we're going to look at here on Estuary Live.